Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show.
Do you mean?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's see here.
Hold on.
Let's not freak out.
Oh, this is bad. What is this show if you can't hear me?
Oh,
okay.
You just weren't up loud enough.
Oh, okay.
Step, you want to do a mic check on the air real fast for us?
Hello.
Oh, it's
Hello.
Matt Step.
Hi.
There he is.
High school football insider. As we recover from last night's technical stuff.
Pickle did a great job.
Yeah, I want to start by saying this. Okay.
Oh God.
Anyone who watches this show knows that I don't like saying nice things about Pickle.
Fact.
Because she writes them all down, and anytime I'm mad at her.
She's got a list at her desk.
Oh yeah, just like and like anytime I do like she uses it against me.
Yeah, it's ammo.
Hell yeah.
So last night, you might have, if you're a Facebook user, you might have gotten like barraged with like 10 notifications in the span of like 3 minutes.
Oh yeah.
From us. And that is because there were two superstars last night on the watch along. We'll get into that during the show. There are two superstars. One of them was Ashley Pickle, because Ashley Pickle got this thing to work by hook or crook, and a less talented, less intelligent, less savvy producer would have just let this thing drive into the ditch and just left it there. And she didn't. So shout out Ashley Pickle. She made that happen last night.
Well, thank you. But actually, Gabe and Mike were the two superstars.
Well, that's one. Well, yes, of course. We appreciate Gabe Brooks and Mike Roach stopping by. If you didn't,
but
go
thank
back
you
and watch it.
regardless.
But the other star of last night was old girl.
Dude.
Old girl.
Shout out old girl.
Our computer.
The fact that we call the computer old girl.
Old girl.
And you don't want to. She gets testy, man.
She
do
does.
not. You got to say all nice things, or she will hear you.
We found the very limitations of her capabilities last night. But here's the thing: once we found something that worked, she stayed on the whole.
Yeah, she was like, "Darn it! I told you guys. Here's what I can offer you. You should have done that." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Yes. So. We appreciate everybody for tuning in for the watch along. It was good times. And by the way, I would like you to we've got Matt Stepp here. Matt
Hi.
Stepp, I would like you to respond to an accusation that was made last night by one of our panelists, Gabriel D. Brooks on Twitter. Made a comment. He is, of course, a Carthage alum.
He is a Carthage alum.
He's from Deep East Texas.
Yes.
He's from the Pines.
He's an East Texas elitist.
He is from the woods.
Yes.
We were talking last night that he feels like he has more in common with towns in Louisiana than he does with like Tyler, or White House. So here is Mike. But he made an accusation, and he called you out by name.
Oh no.
And said,
What'd I do?
Because you were at the Cayuga versus Mildred game.
Yes, I was in Cayuga.
You were at Cayuga. And
if you don't know where Cayuga is, you got to look it up on a map.
You made some sort of
the stadium looked cool
about how it's in East Texas. And Gabe took grave offense to this and thought that was really speaking out of turn. Your response?
Cayuga is in Anderson County.
Okay.
Which, if you look, Anderson County, the county seat is Palestine.
That's correct.
Palestine is decidedly East Texas. I think even Gabe would agree with that Palestine is East Texas. Cayuga is in the western part of Anderson. It's borderline, but to me,
Cayuga's barely in Anderson.
Oh, it's like
County.
right when you cross.
It
I mean,
is.
it's
what lake is that?
It's Richland Chambers. Literally, as soon as you cross the lake, that's the county line, and Cayuga is like right there. So it's borderline.
So for those who don't know, we'll paint a picture because this is an audio medium. There is Corsicana, if you know where Corsicana is, and nobody thinks Corsicana is East Texas.
No, Corsicana is not East Texas. Even though it does have a 903 area code, it is not East. It's more central Texas.
Corsicana is, in my opinion, maybe the start of Central Texas. If you want to get DFW elitist and lump them in there, they're in that weird middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Corsicana is 100 miles from my house. Like it's almost 100.
Yes.
It's a long way.
Okay, so there's Corsicana, and then if you take 287 over the lake, the next town you hit is going to be Cayuga. And there's a lake in between them, but basically, I would be interested in where he would draw his line. Like, would he?
I think it's like Canton. Like I think Canton is like
technically
Cayuga is west of Canton.
It is, but it's different because Canton's farther north.
Yeah. So
or this is map talk.
Look, I've had many a conversation with Gabe about what the borders of East Texas are. So, I mean, I'm very familiar. I just assumed because it's Anderson County that it would be considered East Texas.
So what we do, I'll tell you a little bit about how we do the regionalizations here at Dave Campbell's is we obviously we take a look at the map. And if it's a borderline, then we look at what's in the county. And we will only put full counties into different things. So, like, we're not going to go and say, I bet we have, in fact, I don't even know where we have Cayuga listed. I would bet we have it listed as East Texas.
Probably.
Simply because
it's Anderson County.
Right. Let me see. Hold on. You're listening to live coverage of me seeing where we have Cayuga. We have Cayuga. How about this? We have Cayuga in the Super Centex.
Okay, well.
So, which means we lump the entirety of Anderson County into.
So Palestine would be.
Palestine that feels wrong.
It does.
That feels wrong. But it's these border counties. You know what I mean? Like those are the ones.
Palestine, Athens, Canton, all that, right? Van Zant County, Henderson County, Anderson. Gabe Brooks would love. We need to send this pre-show clip just to Gabe.
I know
because he would enjoy this.
Well, it's like so it's like another perfect example. Okay, where does DFW start west? Like if you're coming east on 20, where does DFW start?
To me, it's the Parker County line.
I agree.
Yeah.
Which would technically, we had a big debate. Was it what the year Brock played in the state championship? There was that big debate on Twitter about if it's Brock DFW.
Brock's big country, guys.
But it's in Parker County.
Is it really?
Yes.
And
Brock's in Parker County.
The Central Texas stuff, and that's because I'm from there. It always riles me up.
Well,
Central.
We use Central Texas. Boy, we're way off topic. We're using Central Texas as really a catch-all. We used to include. It used to be bad. We used to include the Brazos Valley in Central Texas, which doesn't make
does
sense.
not.
So we have to
work.
spin that off.
Subregions.
So what we did was we had this giant blob of Central Texas, and then we were like, all right, we're going to spin off Hill Country. We're going to spin off Brazos County or Brazos Valley. Things like that we want to make, and obviously Austin is something too. But then you are left with like still this weird.
There's always those border regions.
Yeah.
Brock, to me, my personal definition of DFW is at the county line. If you're located in a county that touches Dallas or Tarrant County, it's DFW.
Okay.
The county touches, so Parker County touches.
So you're a big DFW, but you're not the most big DFW. We know who the most big DFW is.
Yeah. No.
Shout out to Matt Diggs.
Yeah, Corsicana is in Navarro County. Navarro County does not touch
yes
Dallas or Tarrant County, so it is not
right.
DFW. But Parker, Denton, Collin, Rockwall, Hunt, Ellis, Johnson, and Hood County. Those are the ones that touch Dallas or Tarrant. So that's my definition of DFW. So, but there's always those border regions. Like, Brock is a border region, right? So
What do you say? Well,
but also
what about Denton?
Oh, it's DFW for sure. Denton County, yeah, Denton
DFWs.
County, yeah, DFW.
DFWs.
But you get to northern Denton County, and it's like
like Sanger.
Yeah. Sanger starts to get, and then you get, but then Cook County, Valley View, that's not, it's Texoma.
Yeah, right.
So, and Brock is western Parker County, so it's
that stretch in between Denton and Oklahoma is barren wasteland of where in the world do you put it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why we had to spin it all. I mean, I'll tell you
because there's like 3 high schools along 35 right there.
We'll start the show here in just a moment. I promise. Thanks. Hang with us. But I do want to get this point out. The place that I've always struggled to figure out what to do with it because I think that they are grossly overlooked any way you slice it is Northeast Texas. Okay,
yes.
You go up there and like basically
Paris.
Oh my!
Where do you put
what
Paris?
do you do with Paris? because I will tell you who will not consider them to be region mates is like Longview.
Yeah,
like they're not like Paris. They're like they're in Canada. Basically.
They think Paris is like this weird. Paris is this weird wasteland. Not a wasteland, but it's just
nobody
nether
knows. Region.
They don't. They're in the middle of everything. Like they don't get covered. They get Sherman. Now they do get Sherman Denison TV stations, but Sherman and Denison don't cover them.
Yeah.
The Sherman newspaper doesn't cover them. Dallas doesn't cover them. Tyler and Longview don't cover them, and Texarkana really doesn't cover them.
They're on an island.
They kind of have their own newspaper, but it's such a small town, so they're.
Yeah, you get up there.
It's like the San Saba of Northeast Texas.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put that.
You get there like Clarksville. I mean, like Honey Grove. There's all these two. Honey Grove is probably getting a little bit closer just because they're a little farther west. They probably get covered by the Sherman paper.
Clarksville doesn't either. Yeah, you got to get west, east of Clark. You got to get east of Clarksville for Texarkana to start picking them up.
Yeah, like New Boston, DeKalb, and stuff.
New Texarkana picks them up, but
There's a stretch up there that's like, what do you do with it?
Yep.
Okay, there's region talk. Hit the theme expo. Let's go! Free money! Free money!
Hey, how to sing the blues, baby. Put a shot glass in your hand.
From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show that stayed up late last night. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, or listening to us on the podcast, which I got to update, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local, mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the hero of last night's watch-along. She is the pride of Kingsland. She was voted best all-around student at
Oh Lord, are you
Llano High School.
Okay, like are you about to give me like this crazy task that it's going to take years out of my life to do, cuz that's the only time you're nice to me.
She's the Duchess of the Dork. She's out.
Howdy folks. Someone help Tep. He's lost it. You stayed up too late last night.
And she's in her bag right now. You know why?
It's Matt Stepp, by the way. Dave
Hello.
Campbell's Football High School.
It's because Matt Stepp is here.
No, Pickle's in her bag because she's heading south. After
She's
the show.
heading
Yeah.
to the homeland.
Mm-hmm.
My Trish and LP will be at the game tonight.
All right, at Westlake and
at
Trinity.
Westlake Trinity. So they're going to come get some high school football action. And shout out Coach Dodge for the tickets.
Yeah, shout out Coach Dodge.
It's
very
Labor
nice.
Day weekend, so
Yeah.
you know what happens on Labor Day weekend. The most elite of pickles makes an appearance.
No, dude,
Lake
I'm
Pickle.
not making my way over
Wait,
to the
what?
lake. No, we're gonna
No?
stay in Austin because we're going to the. I'll be watching the UT game.
No Lake
So
Pickle?
Wow.
I gotta come back up Sunday because I got scheduling and stuff to
What's
do.
even
You got
This
a
guy
big
makes
girl
me
job.
work.
You got a big girl job.
What's even
Yeah.
the point?
Yeah, I think no Lake Pickle. Oh, this is
What's
It's
the
rough.
line?
It's rough.
You might as well ball it up and throw it in the trash. Today's Friday, September 3rd, 2021. 83 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday. I never do this. Happy birthday
He has
to
one job.
Charlie Sheen. This is episode 1234. Oh, 1234. That's a number that
I was waiting
that I
for
can
you
count.
to realize
I can
that.
count too. On today's show, guys, we got a few announcements, including the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week, as well as we're going to round it all out with Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. So if you got questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything like that, let us know in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. We'll get to as many as we can. I'm going to make up a hard out for Step and say he has a hard out 12:45.
I have a hard out at 12 to
Yeah,
45.
Pickle's got to hit the road.
Oh, do you?
I gotta get to Austin, dude. Fella.
That's just like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, something like that. I gotta have my first hit done by like 5. I got.
Sorry, what was that? Okay.
I guess that means she's going to drive fast.
I guess so. Do we have first fourth through the door?
Yes, it was Blake Manning, Ed McElroy, Aaron Flynn, and Rob Hadaway. Welcome in, fellas.
Excellent. We do welcome you in, and we appreciate you guys hanging with us here on Texas Football Today. Pickle, are we okay to do this?
We are so good.
You sure? You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I can waste more time.
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. Folks, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in conjunction with the Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week award to the most deserving high schooler in the state of Texas. Every Monday, TexasFootball.com will announce 10 candidates for that week's award based on the previous week's on-field performance. We even leave it up to you. Voting is open at TexasFootball.com. We received thousands upon thousands of votes, but there can only be one. The Week 1 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week is...
Oh, double drum roll. Boom.
Lubbock Christian quarterback Bax Townsend, who
Great
put
name.
up 18 of 24 for 246 yards and 4 touchdowns passing, added 101 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground for Lubbock Christian. Congratulations to all the nominees: San Antonio Southside quarterback Richie Torres, Tyler Chapel Hill quarterback Tyler Jones, Ferris running back Derek Willis, Dangerfield quarterback and linebacker D. Lewis. This was Yorktown quarterback Drew Alexander.
Sorry, Coach Caffey.
Newton running back DeAnthony Gatson. El Paso Jefferson quarterback and defensive back Nathan Alcala. El Paso Riverside running back Joseph Guardado. And Bridgeland quarterback Connor Wigman. But a very special congratulations to the Week 1 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, Lubbock Christian quarterback Bax Townsend, well-deserved young man. And I guess we should explain we listed the Shamrock Court. There's a really actually a very Matt Stepp explanation for this.
Would you like to hear it?
I would. So we originally listed a Player of the Week nominee as Shamrock quarterback Drew Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a Drew Alexander in Shamrock. I don't know. He's not the quarterback there.
No. There is a Coach Caffey. Jeff Caffey is at. There's one Caffey's at Yorktown. It's John David Caffey. And Jeff Caffey, his brother, is at Shamrock. I talked to Jeff Caffey on, I think, Friday morning because Shamrock played on Thursday. I talked to Jeff Caffey Thursday, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm going to send you Player of the Week nomination. I got one." And then John David Caffey sends me an email with his quarterback, and I just see Caffey in the email and just assume so it's my bad. So
you know what assuming does.
Yes, and that's what it did. So apologies to the fine folks of Yorktown.
Yes.
We fixed it.
We fixed it like it was like Monday afternoon or something.
Yeah,
We fixed it. But yeah, we announced. So there you go. Mea culpa. There's that.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing to do, Pickle. Actually, two more things, I think.
Yes.
If you got the other one. You don't have the other one.
No.
Okay.
That's not on me.
Dairy Max and Dave Campbell's Texas Football are proud to team up this year to honor excellence in coaching and the hard work that assistant coaches put in on behalf of their teams. Each week, TexasFootball.com staff will nominate 4 deserving assistant coaches for the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week and let fans decide on the winner via a Twitter poll. It all leads up to the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Year decided at season's end. The results are in. We have a winner. Your Week 1 Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week is...
Step was late.
Lavia Offensive Coordinator Joseph Garcia. After a truncated season due to COVID-19 that saw the Cardinals play just 3 games, LV came out firing on opening night, beating Progresso 62-3 for their best single-game scoring output since 2013.
Taking down the mighty Red Ants.
100%. And
you don't just walk into Progresso.
You do not. Absolutely. Everyone knows this. Congratulations to all the nominees, Pasadena Adobe Defensive Coordinator Cody Blanchard, Dallas Hillcrest Offensive Coordinator Jonathan Rader, and Paris Defensive Coordinator Brandon Hampton. But a very special congratulations to the Week 1 Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week, Lavia Offensive Coordinator Joseph Garcia. 2A beating out 6A, 5A, 4A. That's some good voting there, Lavia. The Valley. Showing up.
That's right. And by the way, all of our those are all fan votes. When we make these nominations, we don't pick who wins.
Yeah.
It's a fan vote. So see some comments about, well, this guy should have won this vote. This guy, it's a fan vote. So
it's not up to us.
Yeah, we don't pick the winner.
If it was up to us, I would win every award.
Yeah.
No.
No. Congratulations to Lavia Offensive Coordinator Joseph Garcia. Pickle, one last thing. Takis is the presenting sponsor of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award, spotlighting influential kids looking to pursue a career focused on social, environmental, and economic well-being for our future. Today's game, Spotlight Game of the Week, features Denton Geyer and Denton Ryan. Perhaps you've heard of these two programs, where we will be spotlighting our two Sustainability Champions Awards, Abby Luna at Denton Geyer and Abby Kirk at Denton.
It's a night of Abbeys in Denton, man.
Big Abby energy there in Denton. Thank you to Takis for your support of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award. For more information, visit TexasFootball.com. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Thursday night. But if you got questions for Mailbag Friday, get them on the comments. High school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel. If you got games you want to ask Matt stuff about, please
Pickle's got a heart out, so
she does. So
yeah, 12:45.
Get them in.
We're shutting this thing down.
Get on the comments. But first, let's talk a little bit about last night. So last night we had an event here at the studio.
Yeah.
We did the second, I believe.
Yes.
Your first.
No. I was here for the first one.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Our watch along.
Time has no meaning.
I know. Watch along, where we sat around with myself, Ashley Pickle, Ishmael Johnson, and our good buddies at 247 Sports, Gabe Brooks and Mike Roach, were nice enough to join us and eat our pizza and watch the game between Dickinson and Ridgepoint, which ended up being
A banger.
A
Fun
great game.
I feel good about that because I was the one who was kind of convincing you to do that game. So I feel pretty good. I was following the game closely while I was at my game because I was like, I hope they have a good game.
That's always the most nerve-wracking thing when you suggest a game for someone and then you're like, oh, it turned out right.
Stinks, I know, because we've all done that. We've all been like, you need to go to this game, it'll be great, and it's like 44-10.
Yeah, and it was like, ooh, sorry.
Now this game was back and forth. Ridgepoint looked great. I think they got the juice, man. I think that team's really good.
Bert was fantastic.
And now they've got 2 big wins.
Yeah, Pearland and Ridgepoint. I mean, Pearland and Dickinson back-to-back for Ridgepoint. That's pretty heady stuff for the Panthers. And people forget they made the regional finals last year.
Yeah.
Like, they're not coming out of nowhere. They're a really good team. I think the oxygen in the room gets sucked out by North Shore and Katy, and even Atascocita to a certain degree, even though Ridgepoint beat Atascocita in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, most certainly. It was a fantastic game. And, in fact, if you missed the watch-along, we were watching on you watch along on Facebook. We had a very good time. Here's a sample of the kind of nonsense that you missed with a big play from Bert Emanuel Jr.
Bert.
Oh, there he goes. Go Bert.
Oh, hit the gas. Bert Emanuel says, see ya. That's a wrap.
Knockout punch.
Wow.
Send the Ridgepoint graphic out in the text. Let's go.
That is why you have him on your football team, folks.
I think he can probably play somewhere.
Yeah.
So we had a good time. We had a good time last night with our buddies Mike Roach, Gabe Brooks, Ishmael Johnson, Ashley Pickle, and myself. Sitting around watching Dickinson and Fort Payne Ridgepoint. We're going to try to do that more often. Not every week, obviously, because, we have families. Yeah. But we're going to try to do that every so often and get new guests in. I think we've got a couple of names in the hopper.
I know we got a state champion coach, head coach, a former state champion head coach who was interested in coming in.
Yeah, he's interested in it, so we can.
A nice little tease.
Exactly right. So we're really excited about that. You were in Cayuga for Mildred and Cayuga for some reason.
Yes, because I wanted to never seen a game in Cayuga before. Never seen Cayuga.
The house, trail, and shed built.
The stadium looked really. It looked cool, like a cool
little
little,
stadium,
little.
The small town vibe.
Stadium.
You had the small town PA guy who talked too much. It was to the point he was
Put
talking
him
so
on
much
blast.
where the Cayuga coaches are on the sidelines and they can't hear each other. He's like, I forgot what the PA guy's name is, but he's like, tell so-and-so to quit talking. I can't hear the play call. The PA guy is just talking the whole time.
Was he doing like play-by-play?
Oh, a little bit of play-by-play and a little bit of community. It was the community bulletin board was going on. He was talking about what was going on at the First Baptist Church on Sunday, and the project graduation was a big player, and the junior high volleyball team, and it
my favorite thing about
it was not limited to between plays, is what you're saying.
No, it was a constant stream.
And my favorite thing is 99% of the time they've got such a big chunk of dip in their mouth that you can barely. It's a lot of muffled.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah. It was funny. So it was. It was a good time. It was a small town. The game was not great. It was not. It was very sloppy. Lots of penalties. Lots of flags. It was 14-0 Mildred. So it wasn't. It wasn't aesthetically the most pleasing football game in the world. But I'm glad I went. Sorry.
Did you
crapping on Mildred? I'm not crapping on. It was. I mean, I think both coaches would agree. It wasn't
a sparkling.
Did you get to eat
example
anywhere
of great
good?
football.
No.
Nothing out there.
Nothing. I don't think there's a place to eat in Cayuga. Maybe Miss Bertha's house. Miss Bertha was the lady at the front. I mean, if that's not East Texas.
Yeah, it is East Texas.
Coach was like, oh, yeah, just go tell Miss Bertha you're here. And I said, hey, are you Miss Bertha? And she was like, yeah, honey. And I said, well, I'm Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell. She's like, oh, okay, come on in. So thanks. Shout out
Miss Bertha.
I bet the best place to eat in Cayuga is Miss Bertha's house.
So what you're saying is that Miss Bertha was not really, she wasn't super like looking really close at your credential to make sure it was real.
No, I don't think she was paying too much attention.
Just get her magnifying glass out. You run it through like a scanner.
Yeah, it wasn't really much.
You'd have to fill out an online credential request.
There was a place I wanted to eat in Corsicana, but I was running a little bit late, so I didn't want to.
Elsewhere across the state last night, some Thursday night action. Edinburgh Vela beat Harlingen. Did you see that?
Very strong win for Vela. I think that's a statement to the Valley that Vela is the team to beat in the Rio Grande Valley.
I think that's right. Louisville put it on Keller Timber Creek in the game.
Very impressive considering Timber Creek pushed Rockwall Heath the week before. It's a pretty nice win for Louisville.
I've told you. I
Those
said it. I
fighting
think I said it
farmers.
on Tep and Step, our preview edition. I was like, buy season tickets to Louisville. They're going to be fun. They're going to score a lot of points.
Oh yeah,
They might be
they're high flying.
They might be the highest scoring team in the state right now. I mean, they're like through 2 games. Obviously a lot of games tonight. San Antonio Brennan stayed perfect. They beat Schertz Clemens. They're in DFW area. South Lake Carroll comes back to beat Rockwall Heath.
Yeah.
They were
Rockwall
down.
Heath had them dead to rights.
They did.
But,
19 unanswered.
I say blame Nick Harris because he sent out the H way too quick on the trigger there, sending out the H to the crew. You got
messed up.
it's back-to-back weeks. Harris has really struggled in
And we're in week.
Yeah, I mean week two. Week 1 he goes to 2 different stadiums before he finds the right stadium. On the third try, and then this week he shoots down his alma mater by jinxing things by sending out the H tweet a little too quick. So.
I think we got this backwards on the site, but Alito beat Frisco Lone Star 45-35.
That one came down to the wire.
Let's fix that on the site real quick.
That came down to the wire, and I believe Lone Star was like driving for the win.
Mm-hmm.
But the headline out of this one, unfortunately, is Alito obviously a great win for them. Don't take anything away from the Bearcats. Very good win over a top 10 Frisco Lone Star team. But apparently Frisco Lone Star quarterback Garrett Rangel went down in this game, and it seemed reports were that it was some sort of leg injury. There, so hopefully hopefully
it's not too serious.
Yeah,
hopefully
Jerry, his father, liked one of our watch-along tweets last night, like after that happened. So I have good hope that it's not as serious as
Right.
I'll
it
tell you
could
what,
have been.
Alito jumped out really quick on Lone Star. I think it was 28-7 at halftime, and Lone Star made a run. So that's. I think that's a feather in Lone Star's cap that they made a run at Alito, but that's a really impressive showing from Alito.
100%.
You come at the King, you better not miss, and they're still the Kings in 5AD too.
Okay. So last week, Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial.
Can I puff my chest out on this one?
Sure.
So Pickle.
I told Steph.
They farted around against Alice. There's no. I like Corpus Christi Vets a lot. They farted around against Alice.
Yeah.
There's no 2 ways about it. They did not fart around last night against Corpus Christi Miller.
No, they. I picked Miller to win the game, and it did not work out well for me.
I think I took Vets.
You did. You took Vets.
I have screenshots
Yeah. So hey, look.
of me being right.
Credit to Vets.
Uh-huh.
I mean, here's the thing. It's either Alice is a lot better than we think. Vets just laid an egg in week 1 and they're fine, or maybe Miller's not as good as we thought, or maybe a little bit of all 3 here.
Mhm.
I
So,
think that's a solid combination.
It's a couple of things.
So credit to Vets. They came out and took it to Miller. Their offense was humming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they scored 48 in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty strong pace. So credit to Vets. We'll see what happens with Miller. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to call Alice over Miller just yet, Ruben Hernandez, but I think comparing scores, you got to look at it and be like, okay, well, at least Alice has got a puncher's chance in that game. And I know last year Alice struggled. There was a lot of COVID issues. Alice struggled most of the year to even get their season off. So they had a more normal offseason. Coach Atwood was pretty excited about the ball club. So I think the gap is absolutely closed there. I would still favor Miller. And we'll see I'll see Miller in a couple of weeks against La Vega, and we'll see if they bounce back. But credit to Vets. I think Vets is letting everyone know in Region 4 they're still around. We're still here.
Yeah, 100%. This caught my eye last night. Maybe I'm the only one who noticed it, but Axtell beat Bremond.
Bremont's 0-2 now.
Bremont's 0-2. Bremont was a 35-point favorite in this game according to our computer. Now you never know 2A Division 2, and especially with the Pandy.
Yeah.
If they were without
Bremont lost a Division I recruit that Dre Bledsoe when he left Bremont and went to Marlin. Now, I mean, he's ineligible, but he's not playing for Bremont.
Right.
So that doesn't help.
And finally, today's sad story here on Texas Football Today. I got a tweet last night. This was yesterday afternoon, directed at myself and Craig Way. And let me see if I can find the tweet. Come on. Okay, so basically, it was from the account that runs the Pettis Eagles account. Okay, they were talking about the Pettis Eagles, the mighty Pettis Eagles, and they sent me a tweet and Craig and said, "Hey, if we win tonight, it says we want to mention on the Horn, Craig's station, and High School Scoreboard Live if we snap our 28-game losing streak in San Antonio tonight." And I told him, I was like, "You got it. You guys win, I'll shout you on the air." San Antonio YMLA 6, Pettis 2.
No, Pettis.
I'm sorry, not Pettis.
Luling.
Luling.
Yeah,
I got it wrong.
YMLA.
Luling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pettis had their game canceled.
Yeah, I think that's right. I was looking at that, but yes, it was Luling. San Antonio YMLA 6, Luling 2.
I want to give a shout out to Anthony
The
Chris at Sam
Eagles.
Houston. That was a great win for Sam Houston
Yeah.
over Mansfield Timberview.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
a great win for the Texans.
And
so shout out Coach Chris.
And one other one I want to make sure, and I tweeted about this lately last night, so you might have missed it. But shout out to Katy Maid Creek. Katy Maid Creek brought home their first a win last night as they beat Cy Lakes 35-14. And there's a cool video I retweeted. They gave the game ball to Coach Jay Jensen, his first win as head coach. He's back at his alma mater there at Maid Creek.
That's awesome.
Very cool to get his first win there. And
that game is on Texan Live if you want to go back and watch it.
very exciting. Good lateral team.
There you go. And hey, tune in Saturday, Texan Live.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I heard some weird guys doing color commentary.
Yeah. That would be me.
Who put that on the schedule?
I don't know who did that.
Whew.
Poor Gavin Moritz. He's got to deal with me on Saturday night.
And with that, it's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more. The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some lifestyle, romance, travel. Get them in the comments. We got about 20 minutes to answer as many questions as you got. We will get there. Anything you got?
Matt Stepp, romance expert.
Matt,
has never been said.
Matt's-
Never been uttered.
Matt Stepp's romance expertise. Make sure you tap into this wealth of knowledge over here. Pickle, do we have any questions?
Yes, let's go with a game that I know we are all super excited for tonight, kind of over in the Austin area. Cuero and Wimberley.
This is the Matt Stepp pick to click.
Yeah.
This
I
is
did preview it.
This is maybe the game. Is it fair to say that if you could tell anybody to teleport to any game, this might be the one tonight?
Yeah, it's up there for sure. This is one of the ones. It's top 5 game of the week for me. You can read my thoughts in the preview. So yeah, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and read the preview.
TexasFootball.com.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: I like Wimberley. I think Cuero's going to push him, which is a good sign for Cuero on the road. But I like Wimberley in this game.
Wimberley's so consistent, and
They are.
like you know exactly what you're getting, and they are, and I mean what I say when I say this. They are such a measuring stick in the sense that like you know how good they're going to be. How you match up about them is an accurate measurement of where you are. Yeah. And so for Cuero, if they go out there and they beat Wimberley, or they are into that game late into the fourth quarter, and maybe they get edged, on the road and stuff like that, then like the arrow's pointing up for Cuero.
For sure. And Cuero's going to get better as the year goes along. They're still fairly young. This is probably the most marquee game they've probably played in since Jordan Whittington in the state championship.
Yeah.
game. I mean, the last couple of years they made the playoffs last year, but we really didn't. This is like a big game for Cuero.
Yeah.
This is I think it's a perfect way to put it, a measuring stick against a very consistent Wimberley team.
Yeah.
My money's on Wimberley still, but I think Cuero does push them.
Mm-hmm.
We will have highlights of that on Valley Sports Southwest tonight, so
Thanks, Pickle.
tune in.
All right.
Up next, let's go your thoughts on Cy Woods and Katie. The train is going to roll,
well,
people.
Cy Woods is solid. That's a solid Cy
Yeah.
Fair ISD team. They're not going to be a pushover, but
This is just a Katy team that's on a different level.
Again,
I
if
mean,
you come at the king.
exactly right. Like they're on such a different level right now, and I like this Cy Woods team. I think they're a playoff team. I don't know.
yeah,
sure.
they're in that district. I think they're in the same
District's
district
real tough.
with Cy Ranch, Bridgeland, and Cy Park.
Yes.
So that's a really deep district. But I think Cy Woods is a solid team.
Yeah, I think so. It should be.
I think they'll be competitive for I could see them being competitive for a half, but I think Katy wins comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think that this game might be like, maybe it's 21-7 at halftime or something, then Katy stands on the gas in the second half, something like that. All right, what's next, Pickle?
Let's go with a game that might be flying under the radar a little bit, but Salado at Grandview.
This is flying under the radar.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this game because Grandview beat Malakoff last week, but Malakoff lost a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know where Grandview stands because they lost. They're a little more. They've been more consistent than Malakoff even before Dane Yench was there. But I don't know what to make of it.
Salado rolled last week.
Yeah, Troy's not good.
No.
Yeah.
I don't make too much of them beating Troy by 62. I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Troy's way down. Zach Rabacek is not walking through that door anytime soon in Troy.
By the way, speaking
so-
of Zach Rabacek, if you were watching Sam Houston beat Northern Arizona last night,
Did he get some run?
he got some run.
There you go.
Our boy Zach Rabacek.
I'll pick Salado. I'm not gonna make too much of Salado. Like I said, drilling Troy just because I don't think Troy's very good. It's probably a 5th or 6th place team. But I don't really know what to make of Grandview. So
Yeah.
I'll give the edge to Salado here, but I think it'll be a close competitive game.
Yeah, this would be one of those things that if one of these teams comes out and just like mollywops the other team,
Yeah.
and they really take it to them, then it's like, okay, then you set up like if Grandview goes out there and they romp over Salado, then it's like, okay, maybe Grandview's got a little something. Maybe that and maybe by proxy, Malakoff's a little better than we thought, and the rebuild's going a little bit better. So a lot to learn. It's just really important to remember that this is still week. It's still week 2, and there's still just so much we don't know, and we don't want to like overreact.
Yeah.
It's better. I've found in my time here, it's better to underreact than overreact and be like, let's wait for more data. And so that's why this week I think is important, because it'll kind of solidify or kind of dispel thoughts that we had in the first week. What's next, Pickle?
Let's head out to the big country. What is your thoughts on Sweetwater and Jim Ned in Tuscaloosa?
They're probably going to in Tuscaloosa.
Tuscola.
Tuscola.
Come on, Pickle.
Oops.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah, I
good.
said it, and I was like, that's
Hey,
not
good,
right.
good for them playing neutral site.
I literally
at
said it,
Bryant
and I was
Denny,
like,
I
that.
presume.
Get some of
That's not right.
That weird barbecue they have out. Isn't that where they have the white barbecue
Yes.
sauce?
That's
Oh,
just an
yeah.
affront
Isn't
on
that more like a
humanity.
horseradish
I don't
type
know, but who the
sauce,
hell?
base sauce?
What the hell? What are we doing, people? What are we really doing
So-
here?
So Sweetwater got beat by
Stephenville beat the brakes off of
Beat
them.
them
Let's just be honest.
handily.
That was,
Yes,
that
they
was a
ethered them.
blowout.
And Jim Ned looked good in their opener in the beginning of their title defense. I would expect, especially at home, Jim Ned were they at home last week, or is this their first home game?
They were at home last week
Yeah.
Jim Ned was at home. Okay.
against Ballinger.
Yeah. They lost to the week
Yeah,
before.
they did lose. Ballinger lost a lot, and they had COVID this week and couldn't play. I think Jim Ned's going to handle Sweetwater.
I think so,
think
too.
it'll be close. Sweetwater will score points on Jim Ned. That off Leo
They got that.
Holsley.
Yeah.
But I know Sweetwater's been dealing with a few. They've been dealing with some. I know they got banged up pretty good in one of their scrimmages, and I think they may have had some guys out with COVID last week, and that kind of thing. So, I think Sweetwater will be more competitive this week. But Jim Ned's still the team to beat out that way in 3A Division I, and they're playing a 4A D2. Give the edge to Jim Ned. I don't know if anyone from Sweetwater is going to be able to consistently tackle Xavier Wishart.
I tend to agree. And especially, a team that if Sweetwater is dealing with injury issues and they're dealing with a less than full roster, you want to talk about a guy who's going to eat in the fourth quarter. Xavier, that's a guy who
He gets better as the game goes.
It's the old Novocaine thing. You know what I mean? Like it's the like
Give
those
it time, it'll work.
those 3-4 yard runs start turning into 6-8 yard runs and stuff like that. So yeah, I like Jim Ned in that one as well. What's next, Pickle?
Let's go with big Saturday night action in Houston, Shadow Creek and Bridgeland. Will we see Maximum Bears again?
I think so.
Step looks bullish on this.
I think Shadow Creek. Let's not hit the panic button on Shadow Creek.
No,
just
no,
yet.
no.
Right.
They played North Shore last week.
Yeah.
And North Shore is still
North Shore.
defensively. North Shore may have the best defense in the state of Texas, regardless of classification this year. So they're not going to look great against North Shore. Is Shadow Creek as good as they were a couple of years ago? Absolutely not. But I do think Bridgeland's defense is not North Shore's defense.
Agreed.
I
agree.
do think Shadow Creek will. This is going to be a close game. I like Bridgeland. I think Bridgeland wins, but it's going to be close.
I think so too, and I think this is another example of like you've got to take into context. Like the computer has this as an 18-point game. This is not an 18-point game.
I don't think so.
Because
if it is, I'll be surprised.
But the computer's really, in my opinion, they're looking at what Bridgeland did last week, and they're saying, "Holy cow, look at this! Like this is the new normal for Bridgeland." I think that offense is still going to cook. They're still going to hum, but I do think I'm interested in seeing. Because I think, is it fair to say, I think we think the Shadow Creek defense is going to be better than the Klein Kane defense?
Yes.
So then this is a good test for Bridgeland. I still like Connor Wigman and company to win this game, but it's going to be this is one of those games that it would not be a surprise if Shadow Creek bounced back and went 1-0, or moved to 1-1, and then suddenly everyone's like, "Oh man, was the Klein Kane game a flash in the pan?" It's like, no, these are probably two really good
These
teams.
are two evenly. I mean, we have them very close in the 6A rankings. I give a slight edge to Bridgeland, but it'll be a close game.
Yeah,
that's my
I
prediction.
think that's fair. What's next, Pickle?
Let's go out east here and go with a game that was scheduled this week with Wascom and Timpson.
You're welcome.
I
actually helped schedule
This
that
is
game.
a Matt Stepp production. Matt Stepp matchmaking.
Hopefully the
That
check
is a
in the
banger
mail.
of a
Yes.
game.
Hopefully the check's in the mail.
Good work on this.
Thank you.
Because this game's awesome.
Yeah,
And
It is.
This game rules.
It's a great. So here's the thing about Timpson. You look at Timpson's schedule. Their non-district their non-district was scheduled 2 years ago when I don't think Timpson thought they'd be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Basically before they realized they had Terry Bussey.
yeah, because they played Frankston last week. They're
Ooh.
playing Mount Enterprise next week.
Ooh.
They're playing Sims Bowie and Sims Bowie and Carlisle are okay, but their division they're not.
I'm gonna look this up.
That-
I can see like their projected schedule.
They're projected as a 68-point favorite. So Timpson needs a test. If Timpson is going to play with Refugio or Shiner or anyone in Region 4, they needed this game.
100%.
And I think it's a great test because everybody I've talked to out in East Texas says Wascom is the real deal and they
Dude.
are better than what they were last year.
Yes. I'm
And
buying in on Wascom.
I talked to Brandon Alvarez at Garrison, who played, head coach Brandon Alvarez at Garrison, who played Wascom last week, and he goes, Wascom's better than last year.
Mhm.
He goes, they are every bit a state title contender, and so this is a great test. I think Wascom's going to win the game. They're a bigger school.
Yeah, I think
and they
should
win
should.
this game, but I think this is going to be the kind of game Timpson is going to need to play
Mhm.
if they want to get over that Region 4 hump.
No,
So,
I entirely agree. But you're right. Like for example, in the early going, so right now the computer's got this as a 5-point game, or it's 5-point game. Wascom is a 5-point favorite. Every other game on their schedule, Timpson is at least a 25-point
yeah.
favorite.
So they need this game.
They need
This is what they need.
And by the way, that includes Garrison, who we think is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And that includes Joaquin, who we think is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But, Timpson needs to be pushed, and especially before they get to those games where, they're playing Garrison and Timpson, or Garrison and Joaquin, who are going to push them in district. Because going and smashing Mount Enterprise next week is just not going to
Not gonna help them
Not going to
much.
help them a ton. So, yeah, I think that's important. All right, what's next, Pickle?
All right, we'll go down to the Austin area, Trinity and Westlake.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, the specific question is what's the X factor for Trinity to beat Westlake? And I think Coach said it perfectly earlier this week. He was like, we can't beat ourselves. He was like, if we can look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game and go, well, we lost, but we didn't beat ourselves, I think that's huge. Because he was like, Westlake is good enough to beat us anyway, so we can't beat ourselves.
If Trinity doesn't get in Cade Klubnik's face, this game is over before it starts.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of things about this Trinity team, but their secondary is only fine, right?
not the strength of the defense.
It's not the strength of the defense. The strength of the defense is in the front seven. They've got to get pressure on Klubnik. If you let him sit back and pick you apart, he's going to throw for 450 yards.
Yeah.
Because he's Cade Klubnik, he's a Clemson
Because
commit, right?
he's going to Clemson.
Right. I mean, he's incredible. And so that's the biggest thing. If they do not, they've got to pressure him. On the other side of the ball, I mean, we're going to find out exactly how grown up this Westlake defense is in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're going to play some big boy britches football tonight.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think for Trinity to win, they've got to win first down. Offensively, Trinity needs to get in second and medium. They can't be in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. It's not what they do. And defensively, they've got to get to Klubnik. If they don't get to Klubnik, it's game over. They're not going to outscore Westlake. So they got to get to Klubnik. So that's the thing if you're watching for in this game, Pickle. How Trinity does on first down, they're consistently in 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, and if they're getting pressure on Klubnik. Not necessarily sacking him, but if they can rush him, move him off his spot, make him uncomfortable in the pocket, then I think they got a shot.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing. Yeah, should be a fun game. I'm jealous. You're not
Yeah,
fun.
I'm pumped about it, no
You're gonna
doubt.
have fun,
Let's go with Salina versus Paris. Quite the
We
clashing
probably
styles there.
we probably haven't talked enough about what Salina did last week.
They
Yeah,
roll.
what's up,
They-
Melissa? All the Melissa people were in my mentions all before I picked Salina, and then
They-
the mentions all of a sudden stopped.
And I picked Melissa. Boy, Salina
impressive
looked
second half.
good. And by the way, by the way, this is a Salina team, a Salina program that under Bill Elliott has traditionally not started hot.
No.
Like, traditionally they have
Well,
been
have you seen their non-district schedule?
that too.
It's insane.
And they've been one of those teams that
They were
like
like 1-4
yes,
last year at
they
non-district.
Yeah.
always do that. They always end up in like they always end up going to the district at like 2 and 3
Yeah.
or something like that. And not
They
because they're
schedule
bad,
difficult.
but because they're just playing like the Dallas Cowboys every week.
Yeah.
And
Paris is a tough
Paris is one
challenge.
of those. I mean,
Paris is legit.
They play weird ball.
They have a ton of speed. They're athletic. They've got a Luke Hohenberger at quarterback. It seems like he's there. He's now in his 16th year leading that offense. So Paris is a wing T team, but with Hohenberger and that experience, they will throw it a little bit. They went to state 7-on-7 this year, so they can throw it when they need to. That big Paris though is smallish on the defensive side of the ball, and Salina has a very old school Salina offensive line. They are big and physical, and I just wonder in the fourth quarter if can Paris's the front seven for Paris hold up against that big Salina offensive line. That's what I would be. I'm going to pick Salina in a close one. That's the key to that game. Can Paris's defense hold up in the fourth quarter when Salina has been leaning on them for 36 minutes?
I think I like Salina too. And by the way, talk about just a stark difference in styles that you're facing from week 1 to week 2. Like you go from Melissa, which is like
High flying.
4 and 5 wide every play.
high octane spread, going against this wing T.
Paris
That
will
just
have
pounds and
12
grounds.
Paris will have 12 different guys carry the football team.
Yeah.
I guarantee. They'll have
It's
12
like
different ball
it's so it's a huge different kind of test. What's next, Pickle?
All right. Let's go with Step. What was your thoughts on the U.S. World Cup last night?
I mean, it wasn't great, but you get points on the road in Central America to even get a point on.
I didn't even
in
see how
World
it
Cup
finished.
It was 0-0.
Ugh.
And
It was a draw,
I mean,
yeah.
it was most of those guys' first World Cup qualifier, and you had to play it in that raucous atmosphere in El Salvador. So I'm not. I mean, would I've liked for them to get 3 points and got the win? Absolutely. But I'm not hitting the panic button. You get a point. The formula to qualifying for the World Cup is win at home, draw on the road. They held serve. They drew on the road. So, it's not. Now, if they lose to Canada on Sunday or draw against Canada on Sunday, then I'm hitting the panic button because they're at home. You got to get 3 points. You got to win Sunday against Canada.
Yeah. All right.
And no, I'm not torn. I know it. I saw somebody say that. I am an American. I am not torn. I like Canada. I spend half my year there. I married a girl from Canada, but I'm still an American. I will be cheering for the U.S. I cheer for Canada as long as they're not playing the U.S. So
That's good.
they're
There you go.
playing the U.S., so therefore, go America.
Go ahead.
For the troops.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you play the screeching eagle in the background, please? Yeah.
Oh God, darn it! I wish I had that
All
on
right.
camera. We'll end it with this one. If you want to talk about this, there was Rob Hadaway asked for an update on your dad.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Yeah, my dad is doing a lot better. My dad's home. He was discharged from the hospital on Monday. Time has no meaning. He was discharged from the hospital on Monday. Doing a lot better. He's going to have a lot of kind of PT and OT just to get his strength back and stuff. But the prognosis is really good, and things are trending in the right direction. So I appreciate people's prayers and very thoughtful acts and stuff. We really appreciate it. But he's doing a lot better, and so yeah, happy to be home. He's happy to be sleeping in his own bed. I saw him on Wednesday again. Yeah, I think I ran over there Wednesday and saw him, and he's moving slow, as you can probably imagine. If you spend 2.5 weeks in a hospital bed, you're moving slow, but he's getting back to it, and he will hopefully be fully back running around helping me coach Hank's T-ball in a couple of years. So that'll be fun. So I certainly appreciate everybody's prayers. So that's very nice. That's going to do it for us. Oh, no. Vince Young's trophies over there.
Oh gosh.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Step, where are you going tonight?
Choctaw Stadium for
Choctaw State.
Hebron and Arlington Martin.
Nice. There you go.
And you'll be in
I'll be in Austin, fixing to leave for Trinity and Westlake.
And then tomorrow I'll be in Houston. So we're getting the state covered this weekend.
Yeah.
and I'll be in the Valley Sports Southwest studio, so please watch Football Friday, the season debut, 7 o'clock tonight. Myself, Aaron Hardigan, CT Steckel, and Coach Kim Purcell with 4 hours of whip-around coverage, followed by the Emmy Award-winning High School Scoreboard Live coming up at 11. So thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow. No, we won't. We'll see you Monday. No, we
No.
won't.
No.
We'll see you
I
Tuesday.
am not coming.
We'll see you Tuesday on Texas Football Today.